We'll do a little geography lesson.
One side.
Somebody's gonna get involved? Who has the ball there? Yep, hold the ball. So, see, I want to show you guys how great God's love is, okay? Because here in Psalm 103 it says that for as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is his love for those who fear him. As far as the east is from the west, so far has he removed our transgressions from us. So, if you have a ball, you know your north, right? So find the north point, the north pole on the ball there, and find the south pole, right? So if you start taking your finger and you walk up the north pole, don't you eventually come to south? Don't you eventually turn south? Yes or no?
She did not ask you the question.
So, see, look at this. The Bible did not say that God's love for us is as far as the north is from the south, because there's a distance, there's an actual distance from the north and the south, yes? Because here's the south, right? If you keep on going north, eventually you are going to turn where? South. So when north is from south, direction changes, right? Now, I want you to walk through the ball there, look at the ball that you have, start somewhere, anywhere you want to, and now go west. Rotate your finger west. You know where the west is, right? West is this direction. So this is north, or the ball is north. So does the east ever meet with the west? No. Let's see if I can get this to stand. Oh, there we go. So if I'm starting right here, now if I go west, my direction is always what? West. Always west. So I've never meet up with east, right?
No.
Never. Or if I go east, I would never meet up with west, because it keeps on going. See, that's how much God loves us. That's the distance, not north to south, but east to west. I thought I would hear, no aha moment for me, come on. Aren't you amazed? See this? This book here was written some 2,000 years ago, right? In the stories here. And, you know, this is even before Christopher Columbus time, right? Before they thought that the world was flat. See, but God knows. Because if you think it was flat, if God knew the world was flat, then he would have not used east to west, right? The words east to west would not have been compared to his love. So if east to west never meet, and God's love for us is that much. So if you don't learn anything today, remember that, okay? East does not meet with the west. Never. Never. But if you go south, eventually you will head up north. So my point is this. We're not perfect, and God knows that. You know, I always have a heart for the people who always say that, you know, they are in such a bad place that they can't find God, that they don't want to come to the church because they feel like they have no place in the church because the people at church are so righteous. Oh, come on, like the 10 Commandments there, I violated most of them. And it's because through God's grace. Because I found that God's love for me doesn't matter. He doesn't, I made it right with Him. He made me who I am today. He made me stronger because of my past mistakes. And if you're in a place where you said, I'm in such a bad place that I don't think God will ever love me, you are wrong. You are very, very wrong. He loves you so much, as far as the east is from the west. Now please, please, don't let our shame drive us from God. Our series is clean, right? And the first step to becoming clean is to know that. Don't let our shame drive us from God, but let it bring us closer to God. Don't distance yourself because what you've done in the past. Don't distance yourself because what you've done to other people or what other people have done to you. Use that to get closer to God. We are worth something to God. He has a vantage point on each one of us. I hope that you will come clean today and live in God's grace. Past week, I was painting my room. My room is not that big, but it is considered a master bedroom in our house. And of all the colors, I decided to paint it white. And the old color was kind of like pink. And more like this color. I'm afraid to say the word, but it's mauve, is it? But I don't think that's the way to say it. Mauve. Mauve, right? There we go. We have some artists in the house here. Mauve. Excuse-moi. Excuse-moi if we're not saying it right. So mauve. And I made a mistake of not priming it because the color that I bought, they said that it has self-prime. It has prime in there. So I paint. And Melanie and Kenny helped paint. And the first night that we painted it, Nick came home and said, "Why is it so blotchy?" You do it yourself. So I go, I know, we should have primed, and then I have to go out and get more paint. And then we paint, so we finally got most of the walls covered. And now the ceiling, it was white before, comparing to the new white, it's not white anymore. So I go, okay, we need to paint the ceiling. And a lot of ceilings in old homes, they have those popcorns and things that are really hard to paint, right? So we painted, and Jasmine and I painted for a little bit, and our neck got stiff, and we got really tired, And so we said, "Kenny, we need your strong shoulders." So last year we did like 3/4 of the room, and in the evening I came up and said, "It's still blotchy." Still blotchy. And thank God for Mike. Nick dropped off Mike yesterday and said, "Use him or whatever you can, Mike can paint. I'll go help out at the church." And so Mike, and I told Mike, I said, "Mike, you see all these spots, they're very blotchy." And he said, "Well, I don't think, maybe it's a light reflection or something." I think he was trying to get out of it, And so, bless his heart, he did what he can. He said, "Okay, I'll do another layer." So he primed another layer, he painted another layer. And he said, "You want to come point out some of the spots for me so I can do whatever I can?" I said, "No, that looks good. At this point I feel really bad already because everything's so blotchy." But this reminds me of God's love for us. When we try to redeem ourselves, it cannot be enough. It can't. All the shame that I've done to my life, all the sin that I have committed in my life, it's never enough to cover. Never. And thank God. God said, "You don't have to do all those. I did it for you already." It's the work of His cross that He loved us so much that there's no shame to us at all. Just like the song said, the sin that we have, He wipes it clean. Clean as snow, cleaner than my wall right now. And that's the thing about me with a relationship with God. Once I realize that it's not my work that is getting me closer to God, I have so much more freedom than the prodigal son. I don't have to watch out for my back anymore. I just know that whatever I do, all I need to do is the first thing is come to my senses. I have to come to my senses. I have to make that decision. I have to take that first step and ask for forgiveness from God. See, and that's the one thing I love about, having a relationship with God, is that when Jesus was crucified on the cross, right when He died, remember what happened? The curtain was split in half. See, before you can come to in the presence of God, you have to be presented to God by a priest, right? And there's a certain area, there's a holy area that only the priest can go to. So the priest can present your atonement, your sin on your behalf. But as soon as Jesus Christ, did that work on the cross, the curtain is torn. And that tells you and me that we have direct access to God. So when we feel so down, when we feel so shameful, when we feel so hurt, nobody can deliver us, we cannot save ourselves, remember how much God loves you. Come to your senses. Come to our senses. Approach God and ask for His forgiveness. I don't know where you are at. I don't know what your situation is. We can come clean with God every day. He has that much love. He's not going to run out of love. He doesn't love me alone. He doesn't love you alone. He loves all of us. Stop trying to paint over those blotches yourself. The work is done. Come to our senses. Only you and God. I can help guide you, but I can't do it for you. Please remember, okay? Remember God's abundant love for you. His love has no bounds. When you're in the pit, when you're in the worst place, do know that God loves you. If you feel like, God is calling you to come to your senses, He wants you to approach Him. I urge you to do it today. So I'm going to ask you to do that, if you feel like you're at that point. I'm going to ask you to do it quietly at your seat. We're going to pray together. And if you feel that God has impressed upon your heart, that He's maybe knocked some senses into you and maybe you're coming to your senses right now, don't make it right with me. Don't make it right with your neighbor. Don't make it right with your friends. Make it right with God first. Make it right with God.